Yo, again, this will be WCR Audio 100, or if it's 101, then I'm going to shoot whoever just made 100. But, oh well, this will hopefully be number 100. And this is the definitive Human vs. Undead audio commentary guide number 2. And so we have Pistach versus King.Crimson. This is from WC3M. We're going to get to the 15-second mark with the 1x speed. Fog of War will be off, and we're going to be going from Crimson's point of view so I can get a little bit more into the human side. Because it was slightly undead geared last time, doesn't matter. Anyway, it's going to be for both races the best I can, hence the Fog of War off, and we're going to go ahead and unpause this. So, from the 50-second mark at 1x speed, let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So we've got the altar coming out, because you can do altar barracks farm, get 2 footies out, and then go creep with your Archmage. It's, well, a pretty easy build. Works well. It's all good. We've got altar zig for Pistach, because that lets your DK get out to start harassing and doing cool stuff like that, and generally being annoying and lame. Or really not lame, but being smart and annoying and kill stuff, while gaining EXP and being Gosu. So, they're across, as you can see, on Twisted Meadows, and this will be sort of the boring part. And so anyway, right now I'll go over a little bit of, sorry for the yawn, the base builds. So Pistach's is nothing special. Ziggurat's kind of safe, so that he can make a Rubian Tower if he's getting heavily harassed, or a Spirit Tower if it's Zeppelin style. He's getting a semi-wall with the altar and Tomb of Relics, so they can only go where the ghouls will normally be chopping. So they can pick them up and start hitting right away, instead of having to have them run around and stuff and whatnot. And that was a somewhat small opening from the Ziggurats to the wood that led into the Acolytes. So it's just a sort of tiny little bit of a block that's sort of convenient, although it's not really the main goal. That'll, allow, or, sort of semi-disallow the attacking human army to get at the Acolytes. It's not perfect. It's better than nothing. Now you see the human build is going to be this pretty awesome wall right here. That's going to have one opening that's pretty small. Pretty easy to force DPs. Hard to get into the peasants. It's all good. Because as soon as the undead army comes in, it's 1 TP away from a complete surround. Militia get called, undead stuck. You just let up them as AoE as you can, you get the heck out, is all that undead can do. So now we see militia creeping, because you get a good item. Remember to pick up the item. I had a game where I pretty much lost just because I forgot to pick up the belt Giant Strength. So instead of giving my Archmage 150 hit points, his DK got 6 damage and a bunch of hit points, and I got pretty noobed. So that was unfortunate. Anyway, we have the creeping now going on. The Archmage takes the Stormbolt, or the Rock, whatever. He's going to be summoning another Water Elemental soon, because having the WE tank and getting a second one up is going to be very important. Because it's, well, you're not going to be able to pretty much manage it otherwise. So you see the Belt Giant Strength actually picks it up, and the DK is now inside the main, and he's owning some stuff. He's going to kill this peasant, as you can see. They don't get 40 EXP anymore, which is kind of too bad, I guess you could say. But, just killing it is good, because now you get summon up stuff. He's already killed 2. He's going to go at it. So that ghoul gets pushed off. However, there's a very low hit point footman. He takes a coil, 7 hit points, down he goes. So, some pretty good kills so far for the undead player. You can see that this kind of harassment is great on Twisted Meadows. Probably this is the one map of every map that you want to, like this is, if you're ever going to do altar first, this is the map to do it. That's what I'm trying to say. Because they will almost always be creeping that spot. And if they're not, it's going to be easy to just creep jack and steal stuff with coil. And so, he's setting the skeletons off to kill the militia. Very sorry. Very sorry. Because, well, the militia time is going to run out, and skeletons will live long enough, so it's going to be a kill. Just, let them go after it. And they'll get it eventually. It's pretty good. Now you see he's doing ghoul creeping, and you always want to kill the smallest creeps first, unless they're piercers, then you want to kill pretty much the highest damage piercers first. But other than that, when it's melee, kill the small ones first, because they're going to be doing the most damage per hit points. And they'll fall really fast, and then that's going to be 10 to 12 damage you're not taking throughout the rest of the entire battle. Whereas if you go with the big one first, it's going to take a while to actually get rid of them, and then the next one's going to fall pretty quickly anyway, so it won't even matter that you got rid of them. So go for the small guys first. And now check this out. We're having some good creeping going on by Pistach, and he's going to be knocking out the Null Wardens, and then, well, guess what? The Archmage showed up, so Pistach's going to kill it and run. He's like, oh crap. So he knows that he's getting attacked now. And the ghoul gets owned, and his Death Knight's going to be coming in pretty soon. However, he's still trying to force some militia kills. As you notice, he got level 2 from some minor creeps and from the harassment. So you can see just what harassment's doing. It's killed, like, let's see, at least 4 peasants now, and a footman. And, well, now Undead's getting attacked, of course, but, you know, as you notice, his build sort of is blocking off quite a few footmen. Unfortunately, he's chopped down those trees that were sort of blocking off a little bit, but, you know, as I said, he's getting that Rubian Tower close to home. As I said, it's a good idea. So that's doing pretty well for him. And his DK TP's in because he realizes he needs the coil, he needs the aura and whatnot, and also his DK was blocked. Otherwise, he probably would have stayed for longer and really screwed with the human player, because the human player is going to have to micro both sides because he's going to lose stuff to the Rubian Tower, or he's going to lose everything to the DK. So the human really needed to surround the DK and get rid of him, because otherwise he would have been really screwed. So now that there's no tier 2, so he can't get a potion, so he's got to really get himself out of the way. So he's kind of keeping the ghouls, pushing stuff off, make sure he doesn't get hit too much. And as that footman speeds back up, he can't really kill it. DK's been running like mad, trying to get around and back to the shop. I don't know why I'm yawning so much, I'm sorry. But here we go, the DK is getting hit again. Got about 40 hit points, but he's getting safe. He's getting pretty safe, that's okay. So he grabs potion, whatever. So right now, the mindsets. Let's go ahead and pause this again. So let's pause in about 3, 2, 1, pause, as his footman's surrounded. We're at 6 minutes flat. So right now, what the human has done, what King.Crimson has done, is he's fast-crept his Goblin Lab to get items, and he ended up getting a total of +8 strength. So his Archmage is pretty buff. It's got it would have had 475 hit points. Well, now it doesn't. Actually, I'm not sure if it picked up Agility or Strength. I'm pretty sure it was Strength, but I can't say for sure. It's just, I think it is. So notice he's got quite a lot of extra hit points now, so he's going to be harder to kill. And so Pistach got a great drop that way. Another good drop would be getting himself, what's it called, Intel Cloak of +6, just the Robe of the Magi, just because it's nice for the damage, extra water mental spam. Like when you're not level 5, you know, W's are pretty limited, so being able to get more is always useful for creeping and battles and whatnot. +6 damage can't hurt. And so that was useful for him. But the tome is probably the best he could get. It's probably pretty much the best items he could drop is some plus strength. I don't know if any more auras drop from that spot. I think Devotion drops, and I think that True Shot drops. But I'm very sorry again. But those aren't really all that useful. I mean, sure, humans could eventually go into Rifleman, and the 10% is going to help a lot. It's going to be pretty much a free upgrade. But that's not helpful right now. And whereas the extra strength is helping the Archmage out right now, and that's really useful. And the Devotion Aura, not a big deal. It doesn't help very much, especially since a lot of Undead relies on nuking. That's not going to hurt. That's not going to diffuse much damage. So right now, he's got very good items from his shop, from the Goblin Lab. Now, and his mindset is pretty much, it's okay to lose a footman, but don't lose him too quickly. You want to try to keep the Undead in check, because the Undead's going to pretty much, he's going to have to get lucky and get some footman surrounds as he's doing right now. The Undead is going to have to get away, find a way to fend off the human while he's not chopping wood, which is going to delay his tech. As you notice, right here we're going to switch sides. Pistach does not have the wood to tech right now. If he did, he would, but having to take off the ghouls delays his wood count. So that's something to think about when you're human. Some of the reasons why human attacks at this point is because, maybe they just hit tier 2. Well, you're stopping you from getting tier 3 because the ghouls are going to have to get off and they're going to have to start fighting you. So really, the sooner you attack, the better, because that's going to be what Mennings is not having the whole time. You don't have to strive to kill everything you can. You don't have to run right for the acolytes and TP out. Just stay close by, hits and buildings, make his ghouls come out. Because if you stop his wood chopping, you're going to win with Rifleman before he gets Ghoul Frenzy. And that's going to be a big deal. So that's King.Crimson's side, is he's trying to delay the tech, do some damage, maybe try to get level 3. But the main thing is delaying the tech. Now, Pistach's side, he did some great harassment. He really, really, really owned his opponent really quite well. He got at least 5 peasants. He got a footman as well. And he got some nice creeping done. So he's even winning in EXP, even though he's crept, part of an orange camp and one green camp. That's how many units he got. He got a ton of kills. So his mindset is, okay, I've got to push him off fast. I want to try to get rid of his forces and get him away so I can start teching again. Because he needs Ghoul Frenzy. Because just tier 3 overall is vital for Undead. Ghoul Frenzy, A-Bombs, Destroyers, the 3 heroes, the items that come from it. Undead needs to tech. That's where their power is at tier 3 mostly. When you're going with a ghoul build, that's where your power is. And so King.Crimson's trying to, knock that off, and Pistach's trying to get him away so that he can start, accessing that. And so right now he's getting some good traps with that Halls of the Dead Cold. He's getting a Footman right now. And so, his mindset is, okay, get the Lich out, as he's doing right now, as you can see, get the tech done, and then, come fight again once I've got my ideal combination of heroes and ghouls and whatnot, and a pair of statues. So we're going to unpause this again. We're still at the 6-minute mark, and we're going to unpause this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. So Footman dies, and now he's going to go for another surround. However, he sees, look, an Archmage, but, King.Crimson has reflexes too quickly, and a ghoul dies to the range damage. Now, right now, we shouldn't be focusing WE, because fine, they're slow, fine, they're easy to kill, but they have more hit points and less damage, so they're less of an opportune target. Now, Coil goes off to save a ghoul, and he's going to try to attack again. Well, guess what? Lucky Footman positioning. Bam, Footy stuck. So he's getting a kill right there. Now, right here, he should chop the wood to the Forest Walk. However, he uses the attack command. He finally chops it, but it's going to be too late, and he falls before he can do the Forest Walk. Now, as you see, the Archmage, striving for, gets it, level 3. So, Pistach is like, sweet, that's really all I came for. Because footies are going to start sucking really quickly. Like, footies are not going to be useful anymore. Because they don't get Ghoul Frenzy. There's no Footman Frenzy. I'm sorry. They don't automatically upgrade to Knights when you hit tier 3. So the Footmen are now pretty much useless for the human player. However, he just gets rid of them so that he can kill some ghouls, because ghouls are going to be useful the entire game. Ghouls are going to be the lifeblood of Undead, so the more ghouls you can kill in the beginning, the better. Footmen are somewhat expendable, but they still are EXP, so don't say, I'll just get rid of him because it's Gosu. Just think about that a little bit. But getting rid of the Footmen, that's fine, because that's food count, relief for Riflemen, and, just getting rid of them in general. Because they're eventually just going to feed the hero, so, well, you want to feed them later if you can, but they're expendable enough that it really doesn't matter. You don't have to just put your life and soul into saving each Footman forever. They're a lot more useful against Orc when you actually need some tanking and whatnot. Anyway, I'll get into that at some other time in some other article / commentary / whatever. So now since we have the Lich out, he's gonna go and creep. Graveyard now going up for Ghoul Frenzy. That's why he's doing that. That's why he's getting the Graveyard now. Also, it's for the Slaughterhouse. The trouble with Undead when you rush to tier 3 is that you have to get a Slaughterhouse and tier 3 and a second hero. Then you have to afford for Ghoul Frenzy and your Crypt Lord and your statues. And really, Undead Gold is pressed. If you start killing ghouls rampantly, they're going to start really running out of resources because they have to replace everything. They need combat units, they need this, they need that, they need the other thing, and it's going to be pretty much overwhelming for them. So right here you see that as soon as King.Crimson picks up some healing and he starts getting Rifleman, it's time to attack again. As you can see, this timing of his earlier attack at the 6-minute mark, well, it was too much for Pistach, and he couldn't pick up tier 3, so it delayed his quest for Ghoul Frenzy. And so when he's going to come in a second, there's not going to be any Ghoul Frenzy for him. So as you see, Pistach comes into Creepjack. Sorry, he comes into Creep, and then sees, look, a Creepjack. Notice this Bolt and Focus. Down goes a ghoul. Now he is trading so far 1 ghoul for a Rifleman, which is a good trade. Now he's going to continue this, and he runs back a ghoul, but loses it. I think he got that water. No, he probably didn't get the WE. However, he just misses the surround on the Archmage. He's going to lose another ghoul right here. Let's see. Now 3 ghouls for a Rifleman, 3 ghouls for 2 Riflemen, and he's trying to focus on the Rifleman. He doesn't have Frenzy though, and that's going to lose in this battle. He realizes, okay, Water Elemental's still coming in. MK has mana. I'm getting the heck out of here. Because he's getting nuked pretty badly. He needs to coil it right now. And he does, that's good. But, as you can see, without Frenzy, ghouls blow against rifles. Fine, he's got Unholy Orifice of Movement. Fine, he's got a little bit of Nova once in a while. But really, that's nothing. Undead absolutely needs Ghoul Frenzy. Without it, they suck horribly. And so, by denying Ghoul Frenzy for that amount of time, it, really helped him out. So now you can see the altar is now working, getting the Crypt Lord, but the Crypt isn't working, getting Ghoul Frenzy just yet. So now it is finally, but, just saying, he still doesn't even have Ghoul Frenzy yet. And he still doesn't have his 3rd hero, still doesn't have a statue. King.Crimson's timing couldn't have been better. Because, Pistach is completely at a loss. There's nothing he can do. There's absolutely nothing he can do. So he's like, well, crap. So, Bolt goes off, kills it, kills another guy. That's what he can do with the ranged Rifleman and the Bolt. He can focus stuff down. And that's the human advantage right here, is that when you have bolt focus, you can focus it. That's why the ground builds, works against ghouls. But that's why riflemen work against ghouls, because anytime you're winning, you're gonna focus and kill it. And you've got this huge pile of damage. 30, 31 to 39, 19 to 28. Both your heroes are pretty decent, and then you've got the immobilization that comes with bolts. So it's pretty awesome. And the ghouls finally have frenzy now. And so they're going to be coming in, but it's going to be too little too late. The replay is going to be over with everything getting focused. And Pistach will lose the game. However, you can see the last stand going off right now. A good Impale and good Nova have been doing well, but his Priest healed that right back up. And that's the advantage, is that riflemen aren't always touchable. The ghouls are melee units. And so when the riflemen get back there, even with some Impale and some Nova going off, the Priest heal them back up, and it's good as new. It doesn't matter anymore. And so what Undead needs to do really in this matchup is they need to nuke out the Priests first. I know they don't have any damage dealing potential, and they're pretty cheap. Again, sorry. But they're the reason riflemen even work. Like straight rifles, fine, I've done that in an earlier commentary, and it's done stuff before. The reason I want is a pure macro. When you don't have an expansion, and 3 racks is dedicated to just pumping straight rifles, then it gets, a little bit stickier, and you actually need to let them live. You need to actually micro them. And, run them back and let them get healed by priests. So the undead focus really needs to be, getting rid of those priests. Because, he can't even touch the Mountain King, because even though he's slowed, he gets healed for 25 hit points a second. And that's really more than undead can stomach when they're getting focused. So, ritual, but it's, not going to be enough. He does force nuke it, but he's got a potion. And he's like, oh, Jesus. And so he's going to leave the game. Another ghoul goes down, GG, and level 4 Archmage, and he's left the game. So, the factors leading up to the win, the timing, the reason that riflemen can own ghouls, and really, I just can't stress the timing enough, because Pistach did not have anything for any of those fights. Like, with human, you can press your advantage, because you've got Water Elemental, and with an Intel Hero, you're going to have more mana for Water Elemental. A lot of the reason for creeping that spot is to get level 2 for Brilliance. It's a quick creep, it's fairly safe, to an extent, as long as you don't let all your militia get hurt. Losing 1 footman's not a big deal, but that's not huge. However, losing 4 peasants at home hurt, definitely, but King.Crimson's timing was, I'm going to say it again and again, but really the timing did it. Like, he timed exactly when to attack, when he just hit tier 2, but, didn't have the wood for Ghoul Frenzy. Maybe that's partly an accident, but it's timing saying that, okay, he's about to hit tier 2, and, if I can choke off some wood, I'll be in good shape, is what's going through his mind, and that's pretty much what he did. Pistach just tried to get as much harassment as he could to slow down the wood, so that you could slow down the rifleman and the priest and the Mountain King, and so he did that as best he could. As you notice, it wasn't enough because the MK still came out, the priest still came out, but that's the scope of undead early game is to deny wood. The scope of human early game is to get level 2 and then go deny wood, and that's pretty much how it plays out early game. When you get to mid game, undead is keep the heck away from him until I get Ghoul Frenzy and my 3rd hero. Undead point of view is, let's try to make him fight me before he gets Ghoul Frenzy and his 3rd hero. And then late game, we're gonna go human point of view first. Human point of view is, I need some high damage, and that comes from riflemen. And he says, I need some longevity, and that comes from the priest and a paladin. And of course, paladin invulnerability is some pretty good longevity, and his healing, of course. So that's what human goes for late game. And that's why they go air so often, is because they have such great focus fire potential and longevity, and the fact that they're only going to be killed by destroyers. Guards really won't overall touch Dragonhawks, because yes, you've got shackles, and yes, guards can outnumber them, but then it's up to the riflemen and the water elementals to start cutting them down. It's easy for guards to outnumber Dragonhawks, but it's the ground forces that'll clean them up when you start going straight Garg, and then it's gonna be too much for them to handle, and it's gonna be over. Now the undead late game scope is high level heroes, good items, healing scrolls in all caps, underlined and bold and italics, and upgrades to an extent, not a lot, but getting the statues, hero nukes is vital because human units are better. human units are completely better. They're probably going to have an econ advantage. It's easier for human to expand. It's easier for them to defend expansions because they can TP to their actual town hall. Unless you go right in there, you won't see the blight. And their towers are somewhat easier to produce, and the fact that you can make them before the town hall sort of equivalent is even done. You can also fast build it. You have scout farms, etc. There's a lot of things human can do to defend an expansion that Undead can't overall do because, it takes food to make shades rather than to get food for making farms and whatnot. So, overall, the reason is the timing and the unit advantage is getting them before Ghoul Frenzy. So, hopefully this is a good guide on Human vs. Undead. And leave me comments, and I'll leave you comments and tell you why this happens, and I'll tell you what my next commentary is going to be, etc. And this will be Phreak signing out. So, goodbye.